Welcome to ABC4 News at 10 on this Friday night. I'm Glenn Mills. Emily Flores has the night off. A new report showing not just a historic spike in home prices over the last year, but details just how widespread those increases were. And we're not talking just major metros, but all across the state. This report also showing most renters are now priced out of buying their first home in Utah. ABC4's Nick McGurk live on Utah's Capitol Hill tonight with the details of this report. Nick.
Well, hi, Glenn. Some of this sounds familiar, right? But it's from the Kem Gardner Policy Institute at the U. And really, this report is the first of its kind because it really assimilates construction info with home buying info. All the numbers assimilated together. We get a broad picture of how the COVID pandemic really increased the housing crisis here in Utah and across the country. And also, if you're wondering, here in Utah, they say a bubble in terms of housing is not likely.
This isn't a crazy bubble. It's the result of, more than anything, a housing and a supply shortage.
Realtor Molly Jones sees every day what a new report lays out over some 20 pages. 2021 marked a record year of home price increases and construction activity in Utah. We saw price increases in the majority of the state's counties to the tune of double-digit % spikes. Earlier this year, Utah ranked second in the country for the rate of increase in home prices at nearly 30% compared to the year before. Take Layton, where home prices spiked by more than 40% broadly. The median home price of $356,000 jumped to about $504,000. Again, this from just 1 year ago.
It's hard for a buyer, I think, right now to fathom paying $150,000 more on a $500,000 house than they would have a year and a half ago. And our rents are trending just as heavily that way.
Let's talk rentals. Along the Wasatch Front, vacancy rates have never been lower. The average rental rate in Salt Lake County, $1,301. The average rental rate in Utah County, nearly $1,400 a month. All of this laid out in the State of the State's housing market from the Kem Gardner Policy Institute. The context for our current market goes back to the pandemic's beginning, when the federal government avoided a massive recession during COVID, but it came at a price, literally, by pumping massive liquidity into the market, according to this report. Interest rates went down, demand for housing went up, and those home prices began to balloon.
The costs are just astronomical for builders, and they're trying to keep up.
Jones says the supply chain shortage caused by COVID also has builders taking these new housing developments in Utah and pivoting them to rentals. Builders unsure of whether they'll be able to get more supplies to even keep up with this boom.
And that's created a lot of extra pressure on the market. You know, these 30, 40, 50 unit developments that were about ready to get sold are now for rent.
So she basically says this. You might have heard that things are softening a little bit. It's possible in one way. June and July were red hot, she says, in terms of all those buyers putting offers on homes. You heard dozens of offers per home, right? Those numbers have gone down a little bit. She thinks it's because buyers are simply fatigued. They've just failed too many times to get in the home they want. And usually if those numbers go down, home prices would go down too. But she says the takeaway is this: the home prices have not moved. Live outside the Capitol in Salt Lake, I'm Nick McGurk, ABC4 News.
Thank you, Nick. New at 10, police in Murray have arrested a woman